What's up, guys? Welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you a Brave Cross video on the new Dominion floors. So I basically had some footage already of me going through the floors on my phone when I didn't have my computer, but I accidentally deleted them. So I had to go all the way to floor 120 again manually, and it just took a little bit of time, that's all. But here I am. So this video will be covering from floor 121 to floor 150. Now, a lot of people are actually having troubles with floor 125, starting with the new floor. I can say that I have been stuck on that floor for a while as well. It's not as easy as the I guess the first 120 floors, which I can basically do those now without any use of Inspire. But this time with the new floors, I definitely recommend you hitting that Inspire button. Make sure you get that extra 60% attack and HP or defense, whatever you want to call it. And the other thing is, with the new relic system and the new mythic system, it would probably easier now, especially with the new mythic system. But when I got past this floor, there was no mythic system, so it is still doable. Uh, and the main reason why people are having trouble with this floor is probably because their Luna is not as strong as they would like it to be. So the main hero that you need in this floor is definitely a Fated Luna. It's Fated Luna just saves you a lot of the heals that are incoming, especially with Arya and Lucence, because of the snare ability of the Fated Luna. And I would also recommend Red Moss to reduce the rage so they don't accidentally, heal up as often as you would like. Here, as you can see, with the Lucence activating his awakening, uh, I think that would be one of the main problems. But if you do have a Faded Luna, it sort of reduces that factor, and especially if you have Red Moss as well in your team, that reduces it as well. Now, in terms of relic system, there is a way for you to switch around your, I guess, your pebbles and your red gem. Now, there is I think the grade button which you can press, and you can slot into heroes that you will be using on the Dominion floors. Now, I highly suggest this if you are really struggling, but if you are not struggling as much, then you can probably get away with just leaving it as is. But my tip here on floor 125 is definitely get a Faded Luna. A decent red mask would be nice as well. I know some people manage to beat this with a Dragoon as well, which is not really readily accessible if you are starting out. Uh, and these floors are basically for high-end players now. And if you do have an active Legion, that helps a lot. As you can see earlier, I did just borrow the Faded Luna because I don't have one myself. I'm in the process of getting one. But if you can borrow someone's Faded Luna, that would be great. Now, on to floor 130. Now, floor 130, I didn't really have a lot of trouble with this floor, especially with the current, I guess, heroes that I had. So I pretty much just, I think, breeze through this. I would suggest, though, putting your best heroes in the line because the battle time can exceed, I think, 200 seconds. So I think for this I use my PvP team. Now I didn't use Terra, but I would suggest if you are struggling with the DPS, then Terra is definitely one of the heroes that you would want to add in your team. Uh, there will be some times that you would probably prefer to hit the back row first, especially these this particular floors. They usually have a Terra in their team, and once Terra awakens, basically that's your sign. It's a sign that you're dead. Um, Especially if there's still quite a few heroes in the opponent's team. Now, I did manage to interrupt a couple of times here. Dire Zion is also a good hero to have, especially with that stun and just a lot of my what do you call this? My PvP team is basically a lot of CC, so I got Great Sage, Dire Zion, and I got Shantis for healing, and obviously I got Sohi for DPS. But I really didn't have much trouble with this floor. Like I said, it was pretty close in this fight. However, with enough CC, I managed to pass through. Like I said, if you are having troubles, Dire Zion and Terra are a nice addition to the team. Of course, you will have to have very good DPS, and like I said, I keep repeating this, but you will have to move around your relic a little bit here and there, especially with the later floors. Now, I'm gonna skip through all these stuff. As you can see, I'm fast forwarding it, and I'll start talking again on the next, I guess, boss floor. Okay, here we go. Floor 135. Basically, you need Cell Swords heroes, which are the S marked heroes in your team. Earlier on, it was Rebels only, and now it's Cell Swords only. So remember to click that Inspire button. So basically, my Cell Sword team is actually pretty good. I didn't really have any trouble with this one as well because I did have Kitsune, Shantis, and on 5 star. But like I said, I did beat this floor before. I only had like a 4 star Kitsune at the time, I think. But basically, Barbarous for CC and Great Sage if you have it. It's not really necessary, I think, but it does help when you have Kitsune and Shantis in the team. Great Sage is I just love Great Sage because of the CC. It gives you time to get your awakening up, and while the opponent can't do anything to you. It's basically like a stun in a way. So I'll stop talking here because this is pretty much an easy floor, especially if you have the heroes that you need. I guess for every floor it's gonna be like that, but I do recommend having Kitsune and Shantas in here. Barbarous is just an extra stun, which is nice. So I'll leave it at here, and I'll go talk again on the next boss floor. Okay, here we go in floor 140. This time it's nobles only. Remember to click that normal inspire button all the time, all the way up to 60. And this one is pretty easy as well. I really didn't have any trouble with this floor per se. I did have very decent noble heroes, and a lot of the noble heroes are actually DPS heroes. So didn't really have any problem. So you can really mix and match your team here. Obviously you need Sohi. Terra is a nice addition, and I would recommend one front hero just so you can take a lot of damage. But otherwise, you can mix and match Noir or Frostbow, yeah, or if you got a very decent Fleur, you can add that too. Aegis is a very good tank. Although I probably wouldn't really say Aegis is a nice hero to have here because of the DPS requirements sometimes. It just depends on your heroes as well. But for the team that I chose, I picked Sohi, Terra, the main character, Noah, and Flame Fist. Also, if you have a Dynast, I believe Dynast is a noble. Definitely add Dynast to your team if you are having any troubles at all. Now I'll leave again and come back on the next boss floor. So here we are, floor 145. Basically you can't use any troops. Uh, these kind of floors are actually quite easy because you don't actually need to summon any troops because the troops actually does no damage at all. It's like 10 to 20 damage for archers, so it's not really ideal to summon. You're just gonna make them awakening a lot faster. The only time I would use some troops is footmen. If you are struggling to through Fleur's awakening or so he's awakening, any one of the archers awakening basically. If you're having troubles with that, your tank can't take all the hits, then go ahead summon some footmen to take the damage off you. But again, it this floor is basically just use your best team. Your PvP team is probably going to be your best team, so go ahead and use that. Didn't really have any problems. Just as long as you inspire, you should be fine in this floor. There are no limitations to what heroes you can use. If you're having troubles, always go to your legion and ask them, if you can borrow one of the heroes that you are missing. Okay, now I'm gonna skip through again and talk when we are on floor 150. Floor 150. Probably my most hated floor out of every floor that I've faced in the Dominion. I am currently on 160, and at the time of this recording, today is the day I actually beat this floor. So many times I came very close to beating this floor, but there was always one hero that stood in my way, and that is Fated Knight. How I hate him so much in this floor. So basically, the idea of this floor is for you to kill the back row first. Now remember, this is only an Imperial only fight, so you can only use Imperial heroes. The problem lies in Imperial heroes are not really DPS orientated. So I did a lot of mix and matching. I came close so many times, but the idea here is you will need a Turnus, a Chevalier, Arya, a Fated Even Wolf, preferably higher than 3 star. The one I got is 3 star, and that's all I got. So I could have borrowed someone else, but I think 3 star or 4 star is better than the 5 star. I had more trouble with a 5 star um, Even Wolf because it wasn't using the, I guess, the ultimate form of Even Wolf because it wasn't getting too much damage. But the idea here is for Eternus to attack the back row. You can also use Masquerade if you have a Masquerade. Masquerade also attacks the back row. You can probably take off Even Wolf and use Masquerade there, which helps DPS down the back row. The idea is to kill off Fleur and Terra, especially Terra. The way I did it here is I actually got my Even Wolf down to the percentage where he would transform. And that was my technique. I want him to transform so I can do more DPS. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have enough DPS to kill off Kira Knight. And that happened to me so many times. Now, the other thing here is because of Raider, you will always lose some rage because of his awakening. So the idea is to make sure before you use Arya's awakening is make sure that the Raider has already applied his rage debuffs and then just gain the rage back and heal up. The main role for Arya is healing Eternus. Eternus is the most important hero because he's the only one that attacks the back row. Unless you, of course, you have a Masquerade, which helps. And if your Even Wolf has transformed, he will also hit the back row because he's got the AoE thing happening. Chevalier is there for your rage gain. And Eternus is, like I said, the most important one, but the most squishiest one as well. As you can see, my Eternus probably revived 2 or 3 times in this fight. If Eternus dies and doesn't revive, you might as well quit because you won't have any damn DPS left. You can replace Even Wolf with Hephaestus, which is really good if you can manage to drop down what do you call it, a Kira Knight or the other heroes down to I say 30% HP, then he can one hit them, or 20% or something like that. But essentially, this is the floor that I hated so much. You will see here, I think I had about 20 seconds left before I actually beat this floor. So you have to make sure that all your team is alive. I've had so many times that I had 4 heroes versus Kira Knight, and god dang, I just couldn't beat it. It just won't die. I always run out of time. There are even times where I have 5 heroes and I still can't beat it down. That ultimate makes him invulnerable and regains his HP. He does have HP steal or something as well, I believe. It's just freaking annoying. Freaking annoying. I basically timed most of my awakening down so I can keep a perma stun sort of. So between Chevalier, the main character, and Even Wolf on the ultimate form, I made sure that I do stun Kira Knight when he's about to, I guess, get out of the stun status. So good luck, guys. This is probably the hardest floor ever, but I managed to do it. And there you go, floor 150. And that's it, I guess, for this video. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. Also, leave a comment below if you think I missed something and will help the community. This is Munchkins logging off. See you guys in the next level.